Hello, chefs. This is Chef's PSA Podcast. I'm your host, André Natera. On today's episode, we're going to talk about when service goes bad. Stay tuned. Now, before I get started, just a quick update. I've made some small adjustments to the Culinary Leadership Fundamentals book. Basically, I adjusted the cover, so there's a new cover. I'm working on a hardcover version of it. Hopefully, we'll have that out in about a week or so. The adjustments in the Culinary Leadership Fundamental are non-noticeable. It's just some formatting issues in the new cover. You'd notice the new cover, but other than that, you're not really going to notice anything else in the book. I thought about adding another chapter. I decided not to. Just as times have changed, I thought about putting a chapter in there on more modern tools for marketing and social media, as well as AI. I decided not to. Anyway, maybe I'll just keep focusing on the book that I'm writing right now, which is called Bad Cooks Everywhere. And I am really into this book. I started writing it and I'm about a third of the way done. And it's different and it's intense and it's unlike any of the other books that I've written because it's a fictional narrative about a cook going through some tough kitchens. So some of the experiences might resonate with a lot of you. So I've had a lot of fun writing this book. I've shared a couple of snippets with some close friends of mine and they love it. So that book is in the works. I will have it soon. Also, if you want to support the show, go to chefspsa.com. You get the merch there. You get the books there. I have 5 free ebooks, including 100 basic recipes, food cost mastery, a free culinary dictionary for those of you that need to brush up on your slang and your culinary jargon, as well as a critical path to opening up a restaurant, and the 50 most important chef's PSAs. Free ebook. It's a companion to the other 2 books, Line Cook Survival Manual and How Not to Be the Biggest Idiot in the Kitchen. You get all the books there, as well as the Culinary Leadership Fundamentals, which we talked about, Kitchen Art of War, Bad Sue, Good Chef. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe and the like button. If you're listening to the podcast on other platforms, like Spotify, make sure you leave 5 stars, nothing less than 5 stars. If you're thinking about leaving 4 stars, stop listening. Go somewhere else, only 5 stars. Your 4 stars can go on those other podcasts, not this one. This past week, I got a chance to go visit one of my good friends, Matthew Peters, Bocuse d'Or winner for the United States in 2017. First American to ever win the Bocuse d'Or. He has a place that he's opening called Prelude here in Austin, Texas. And I got to say, I was quite impressed. Very beautiful. I didn't want to leave. He had to throw me out. Cocktails were amazing. So shout out to those guys. They have something special going on. If you're in Austin, get on the waiting list because it's not going to be easy to get into. You might see me there all the time. So anyway, shout out to my friend. It's always good to see good people do good things. I also have a dinner coming up on May 29th. El Paso family meal will be cooking at Bacalar, my friend Gabe Morales restaurant. A group of chefs from El Paso showcasing what we're going to do there. So if you're in the Austin area and you want to come say hi and you want to come try some good Mexican cooking, come check us out at Bacalar. It goes to a good cause. You can say hi to me. So I will also be doing a demo at a culinary conference here in Austin, Texas. So I'll be doing a little fish demo. If you happen to be at that career fair, go check it out. It's put on by the Texas Food and Wine Alliance. I'm busy this month, man. Big things coming. Chef's PSA. We digress. Where were we? Bad service. We've all had bad services, right? Some are worse than others. I did a podcast early on in the Chef's PSA series about what causes the worst service ever. And I talked about the worst service I ever had, which was on a snow day. Actually, the 2 worst services I ever had were on snow days. Once was in this snowpocalypse that we had in Texas that shut everything down. And we were like a week away from total chaos in the streets of people looking for food. But anyway, we got our power back. That was a crazy time. Another crazy time was during a snowstorm when I was a chef in Dallas and school was canceled. Everyone called off and they were showing Frozen next door to the place where I was the chef at, and minimal staff, and everyone showed up to eat lunch. Bad service. Anyway, those are the 2 worst services I've ever had. But let's talk about bad services because we've all had them. They're not escapable. The best thing you could do is get through it, right? Sometimes the tickets just line up. You're underprepared because you don't have enough staff, or you had the right amount of staff, but you didn't prep, or they sat the entire dining room and you didn't know it. Something always goes wrong and you have a very bad service. Maybe they ordered everything that was 86ed, or you burnt the steak. The Ansel system went off. It could be 1,000 little things, but we've all had those bad services. But as the chef, when you notice that the kitchen's about to be going down in flames, figuratively. I've seen a lot of chefs, and myself included, you hit the panic button and you don't know what to do. But with experience, you start to be calm. Everyone's feeding off your energy, especially the line cooks. If the chef panics, the cooks panic. But if the chef is calm and focused, has command and control, no one else panics. It's really easy to get flustered when that ticket machine keeps going off and haunts your nightmares. I mean, how many times have you been asleep and you wake up to the sound of the ticket printer only to find out that you're in your nice little cozy bed? That ticket printer is the stuff of nightmares, man. And every chef knows that sound. And what's interesting is, like, when you hear that ticket printer a lot, eventually you can know what the order is. Like, I know chefs that could predict what's coming out on the ticket just by the sound of it. Or is it a void or a don't make? Because it makes a slightly different sound when it's a non-order. I used to work with this one guy that I was working in the past, and I would go to pull the ticket and he would say, it's a don't make, or it's a void. You don't need to worry about it. And I'd always check, and he was always right. Like, it has a certain ring to it. You know what I'm talking about if you know those printers. But where were we? It's important as the chef that you recognize those situations, because everyone's going to be feeding off your energy, good or bad. And knowing that you have that much effect on it, you're better off having the good, calm energy. And the only reason I say that is because I've done both. I've pulled out of situations because of the good, calm energy, because everyone's panicky. And I say, don't worry, it's going to be fine. We're going to get through this together. Everyone stay calm. Focus on the few tickets that are in front of you. Don't worry about everything else. You can only do this many at a time. Sometimes when I'm working as the expediter, I will start communicating to them. So that way they don't got to look at the tickets like, okay, drop 3 more steaks, cook 4 more chicken. Don't forget about the thing that's in the oven. Because sometimes the line cooks get so overwhelmed with everything that they have in front of them, they need a calming voice that's not panicked, that's just telling them what motions to do. They go on autopilot and they just want to know, turn the steak, check it if it's medium rare, don't forget to rest it. While it's resting, go slice this other steak. Don't forget to check on that in the oven. Anyway, you get the point. In these high pressure situations, as the leader, you have to reassure them that you're going to get through it. This is where you become the air traffic controller. You start directing everyone, you start directing the service team. And by the way, if you're on the service team, one of the worst things that you could do when the kitchen is crashing is stand right there and watch the chef. Like, it does not cook faster by you watching them. And it also doesn't cook faster when the service member says, how long on this one? How long? And they keep asking you, and you're like, is there any way we could get it faster? No. Do you not notice that there's a full rail of tickets? And I get it where they're coming from. They're panicked. They want to take care of the guest that the guest is asking. But if you're the service staff and you just sit there asking them how long, and you're staring at the person who's trying to call the orders, you're not making the situation better, right? You're distracting and you're being disruptive. So as the chef or as the leader of you're running the kitchen, if you're running the pass, it's important that you get them out of the way. You send them about, you tell them, go check on your tables. This ticket is approximately this far gone. It's going to take about 30 minutes. It's going to take 20 more minutes. Whatever the case may be honest with them. This is the time that as the leader, you have to start jumping into mitigation mode. You might need to send out some appetizers or tell them to pour some wine or go talk to them, whatever the case may be. You might want to get the manager involved and say, hey, we're really dragging on this table. You need to go touch it. Make sure that they're happy. A lot of kitchens go off different systems. Some places have computer screens where they're looking at the orders. Other times it's the chef calling, or there is no chef calling. Sometimes the cooks are just looking at their tickets. 1,000 different systems. If you have no system, one that works really well is to try and pick up the tickets in groups. So a batch system or a pick system, say, okay, you're bringing me these next 3. After those, you're bringing me these next 4, or try to group similar tickets. So for example, you have 3 tickets that are very similar. You say, bring me these 3 right now, because you know sometimes getting those out will alleviate the bottleneck on the line. And sometimes you could see just a very simple ticket that you say, hey, that one ticket with the salad, just send it out, because it's going to cause a bottleneck if we don't get that one straggling ticket out of the way. So the person that's running really has to understand the team that they're working with, service team, culinary team, know the food very well, know where the problems are going to be, know where the pressure points are going to come in. You know, they ordered the well-done porterhouse steak. It's going to take a little bit longer. Move that to the back. Pump out some of the smaller tickets first. It's important that you know your team and you know your kitchen. Even better, you're getting ahead of it. and you're talking about it at pre-shift and saying, based on the amount of reservations that we have, based on the staff that I have in the kitchen, and based on the product that we have, from 7 to 8, it's a pressure point. We run the potential of having long ticket time. So this is when you want to sell more appetizers, get more wine on the table, more cocktails, slow them at the door. We're not taking any seating from walk-ins during that time, right? So having a plan, because look, a lot of restaurants run their kitchens and their restaurant services very well, and a lot of them don't. So some of you are thinking, we got that covered, while others are thinking, at the door, it's out of control. The host or the hostess is just seating people randomly. Servers are running around with their heads cut off. Tickets don't stop coming in. The one server took too many orders, pocketed the tickets, and rang them all in at once. And they rang in the item that we were 86 after the fact. And don't forget, there's always that one cook who says, "Chef, that's the last fish I had." What? What are you talking about? I just sold the last fish. Do you have everything on the board? No, I'm telling you, I just sold the last fish. I have nothing on the board. Meanwhile, those tickets on the board have been up for like 20 minutes. And now you got to go get the server and say, "Hey, I just found out we 86 the fish and I have none of these tables covered. What's the plan?" As I'm saying that, my anxiety is going up because I've been in those situations. So if you're the cook listening, never 86 anything after the fact. That's the old chef's PSA, amateur hour. A professional has their counts. Count everything, count everything, count everything. 3 very important rules. And when you're not sure, count again. A lot of people like to 86 with just a few in the bank because there's always those orders that come in after the fact. So some people 86 with 3 in, I guess, depending on the size of your restaurant, you might 86 with 1 in, 10 in, right? If you organize your mise en place so everything is correct. So let's just say you're talking about steak in a pan and you have 10 steaks in a pan. Every single pan beyond that should have 10 steaks. So that way, when you're doing your count and you know you have 3 pans, you know you have 30 steaks. And when you've sold 2 pans, you know you only have 10 left. And that's when you start saying, "Hey, I'm down to 10 steaks." Put the count in, spread the word. Nothing's worse than just chilling on the line with the cooks. You think it's going to be an easy night. You guys are cracking jokes. Someone's making the family meal for the second time because it's slow. And they're thinking, "I'm going to make some disco fries. We're slow. You guys hungry?" And then boom, no one told you. The entire restaurant got sat. And while you're sitting there chilling, eating your disco fries, thinking you're going to get out early, you haven't seen a server in the kitchen for about 20 minutes. It's been quiet. They haven't come back to harass you, ask you for a snack. You haven't seen them. All of a sudden, 1 ticket, 2 tickets, 3 tickets, 4, 5 tickets, tickets to the floor. Chaos ensues, right? No one bothered to warn you, and now you have a mess on your hand. What do you do, right? We've all been there. Stay calm, start cooking, take control. Then after that, talk about it. What went right? What went wrong? You have a post-shift meeting. You talk about the highlights. You talk about the lowlights. This is what we did well. If this happens again, this is what we need to do to improve. Maybe your printers went down and you had to have a crash kit and you started taking orders by hand, old school. Your credit card machine stopped working. One of the cooks called off. There's numerous reasons why things could go sideways, but it's important that you are able to mitigate them, and you should have a plan of mitigation for every potential situation that could happen. Of course, there's going to be the ones that you can't even think about because they never happen. But most of the things that will go wrong, someone's experienced them. There's not a whole lot of new ones that will pop up. So it's important that you know what to do in those situations. After you get through it, how do you recover? You celebrate with the team. There's no better feeling than going through the shit with your people, right? And you guys, and maybe you said some things that were inappropriate. You yelled at them. They yelled at you. You guys argued. Why did you not say anything? You used all my chives. Why did you 86 it after the fact? But when you get through it, you smile and you say, "I'm glad I went through it with you better than anyone else," right? You enjoy the team. Sometimes when I sit back and I think about bad services that I've gone through, no longer being a chef, being retired, sometimes I wish I could have those bad services with people that I'm close to. I don't know. Maybe not the bad service, maybe the good services, but sometimes the bad services were more fun, right? How many stories do you tell about good services? Probably not that many. How many services that are bad do you tell the story to everyone? Oh, this one time, right? So sometimes we do live in the bad services, but the reason we like talking about them is because we learn from them. It's a learning opportunity for us to get better, 1% better every day. Learn from your bad services, get better. The other day, I put up a video on Chef's PSA about one of the cooks that I was working with, because anything could go wrong that could cause the bad service. It could be, the cook gets hurt and you have to send him home. This guy dropped a pepper mill or tongs in the fryer and he stuck his hand in the fryer and burned himself. And I said it was the worst thing I'd ever seen. Incorrect. I lied, because after I posted that video, I remember there was a worse one that I saw. Someone had put a bucket of broken glass on the dish station, and the dishwasher was working by himself and he didn't notice, and he stuck his hand in and he cut a big chunk of flesh out of the palm of his hand right here. And he was bleeding everywhere. He's a tough older guy from El Salvador. I mean, he'd been in several wars, and he was unfazed. He was a gangster. And so I freaked out when I saw him, because everyone called me like, "Chef, so-and-so's bleeding. Go check him out." I was like, shit, what do I do? Blood everywhere. He's got a big chunk of flesh coming out of his hand. He's the only dishwasher working. So going through my mind is like, shit, we're going to have to wash dishes, and we got to get this guy to the hospital. So I'm trying to solve two problems at once. And he's like, no, don't worry about it. He's like, just give me some scissors. I was like, scissors for what? He's like, I'm just going to cut off the skin. I was like, what are you talking about? That's like it's like 3 ounces of flesh. You're just going to cut it off. He's like, yeah, just give me some scissors. It's not a problem. I'll just wrap it up and cut it off. And one of the cooks brought him some Joyce Chen kitchen shears, and he was thinking of cutting it off. I stopped him. I was like, absolutely not. You are not going to cut a chunk of skin out of your hand so you can keep washing dishes. I insisted that he go to the hospital, but he was like seconds away from cutting the flesh of his hand off just so he could continue working. It was absolutely insane. Bonkers. You see a lot of crazy things in the kitchen. That's just one story, but I've seen a lot of dumb stuff. I've done a lot of dumb stuff, but while we're on the subject, I once worked for an executive chef that stuck his hand in the large floor mixer, and it got broken in several places because he thought it would be faster to scrape the bowl than the paddle attachment. That was scary. Anyway, kids, don't stick your hand in the fryer. Don't stick your hand in buckets of broken glass, and don't stick your hand in the mixer, because we talked about bad services. That's going to make it more than just a bad service. Anyway, Chef's PSA is on Substack. There's exclusive podcasts on there, leadership secrets, winning the game. I'm about to put another one up on the tools that I use in the kitchen and show you my setup. So if you want exclusive content outside of this podcast, go subscribe to the Substack. I think it's only $10. You get free ebooks, audiobooks, leadership training that's only available there, or you could rent it for $8 or $48, but for $10, might as well get it on Substack. Get Chef Brain. You're going to go to the gas station and get a hot dog and a Slurpee for $10 anyway. That's not going to do you any good. Chef Brains is going to do you good, make you a better chef. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure you leave 5 stars, nothing less than 5 stars. Go to chefspsa.com, get everything, and we'll see you next week. Hit the porno music.
Yo, it's André in the kitchen, mixing, dropping chef knowledge, no fiction, stirring up the beats, heating up the session. Listen close, class is in session.